Hi, I'm Rebecca Mara, and I am the owner of Somadi Mind and Body. I'm an intuitive coach, an energy healer, and a body worker. And what I want to talk to you about today is grounding. So, a lot of people wonder what the purpose of grounding is. I remember when people would ask me if I grounded, it sounded like a chore or something kind of boring, like not that exciting. Um, but what I've learned is that grounding is actually really powerful. And as much as it is important for us to be able to contact angels and ascended beings and have magical experiences, they're incomplete unless they are grounded. And what I found is that that spirit of the earth and the spirit of being connected in this earthly body as spirit manifested, um, in this three-dimensional plane, it actually can feel like God is in the earth just as much as God is in the sky. Um, Ultimately, God is within ourselves as well, but it's really nice to be able to feel the more extreme polarities of this deep peace of the earth as well as the deep peace of whatever you consider heaven to be. So I'll tell you a little bit what grounding feels like to me. I learned how to ground the best by standing by a tree. I live on a mountain. I like to stand, maybe like, or sit right in front of a tree, or stand and breathe with a tree. And what I noticed one day was this deep, kind of low, kind of like a deep magnetic vibration that anchored my whole being into my body more fully, and I felt this really deep peace. It cleared all of my mental buzziness. It cleared all of the control in my system and my ego. It brought me into a really clear, embodied presence, and it anchored me and held me in that earth energy. The peace was amazing. There's nothing missing, nothing wrong. And being connected to Gaia, Sophia, that spirit of the earth, is what grounding feels like to me, but it's not having to come down from our excited upper state. It actually is way more enriching, and it can allow us to sustain those higher states for a longer period of time. So I'd like to guide you through a couple of grounding meditations. There's one that is just using a typical psychic tool, a grounding cord, and then I want to move into tree energy just to give you a little bit of variety of practices. So the first thing you can do is sit and make sure that your feet are planted on the earth, and start to breathe kind of slowly. And the first thing that you'll notice if you start to ground, the way that grounding looks in your nervous system is like a baby. It's the way that their breath flows without any tension. It's this really soft and open breath, no controlling, no holding. It's completely in the present. So let's just imagine what a baby would breathe like, or imagine what your cat or your dog, just imagine their belly when they're sleeping. And let's just bring in that kind of openness and settledness and that deep security of grounding in the nervous system. It feels like home, like really cozy and secure. And now let's drop our grounding cord. So your grounding cord can be as big as you want it to be. You can imagine it being like a tree trunk anchoring into the earth. So a lot of people like to say that you drop your grounding cord from the base of your spine. It can be hips width distance. You can make it whatever color you want to make it. And you'll imagine that you either drop that into the center of the earth, which is the common practice, but for me, it's hard to imagine that. So I usually go maybe like 7 feet, 8 feet into the earth, as far as I can imagine dropping that cord without losing contact. So see what it feels like to drop that cord, to anchor. And like a grounding cord, an actual grounding cord, what it does is it neutralizes emotions that are supposedly magnetic, and it neutralizes thoughts which are supposedly electric. So see if dropping that grounding cord into the earth can allow the thoughts and emotions to neutralize so that you're fully in the present moment. Just breathing with that for a moment. And now we're going to allow any mental energy, any excessive mental energy or thought forms that are stuck, that are constantly looping, we're going to allow those to pour down and drain out through that grounding cord into the earth to be neutralized. Breathing slowly, allowing the breath to be soft in order to allow that energy to move down. Draining effortlessly. There's no trying here. It's a surrender, a letting go, letting any tension, control, attachment to expectations or ideas, anything that's not fully present and peaceful, draining down into that grounding cord into the earth. Now just notice if you feel more present, if you feel a little bit more whole because you're not holding on to things that aren't helping you in the moment. We really don't need as many thoughts as we have, and we really don't need emotions to hang out in our field forever. We also don't need other people's energy to be running through our system. So just take any energy, any old imprint of something that happened during the day at work or with a partner or with a friend, and just drain anyone else's energy that you might be holding on to, worrying about, down through that grounding cord. And now let's connect to the divine energy or cosmic energy up at your crown, the top of your head. And we're going to allow this beautiful golden light can flow down like a really peaceful lava or waves of grace. We're going to bring this beautiful golden light to fill up the crown of our head and drain into the rest of our body, cleaning any excess tension or any excess holding down through that grounding cord. Waves of peace, waves of grace. It's like being pet by your angels or gently stroked by them as they carry away anything that's not of your essential self. And let your whole body fill up with that beautiful golden cosmic light. And just turn up the vibration of that. So we're going to let it get even more joyful, even more angelic. Just kind of pushing those edges of where you're used to feeling. Okay, let's let that cosmic energy swirl down through the crown. And now we're going to draw some earth energy up through our feet. So let's imagine that there's a ball of energy at the bottom of each foot in the sole, just a beautiful ball of energy. And we're going to start pulling energy up through the bottoms of the feet to balance out that cosmic energy. Just letting it flow. We're not efforting, not controlling. We're surrendering to allow that earth energy to flow up through our feet, to come into the base of our spine. Coming up as far as you can get it in the body without reaching or efforting. Just allowing it to flow the way that it can. Okay, and now let's try our last practice. we're going to connect to the energy of a tree. This is one of my favorites because I adore tree spirits. Tree spirits, when I look at the energy of a tree, it looks really dense and strong, but it's made out of light. They're one of the most open beings that I experience in nature. They're really giving, they're really connecting, and their energy feels deeply peaceful and caring. So I'd like you to first imagine that you're standing by a tree in one of your favorite places outside. Really notice the colors, the textures of everything around you. And imagine that there's a tree right behind you. And we're going to start breathing with that tree. So as you get more present, you start to notice what that tree feels like. Your mind chatters less. Your ego is less attached because you're listening. There's a deep listening happening. And start to accept the energy of the tree through the back of your body, its softness, its breath, drawing you into the present moment, into your animal body, into your wholeness. Keep breathing with that tree. And let it just dissolve anything noisy or sparky or heavy or dense. Let that flow right down into the roots. Out into the roots to get distributed, connecting to other roots, getting neutralized, rebalanced. And notice your mind now as being like those treetops. The mind opens towards the sun. It's not grasping ideas or information and trying to control. It's a ball of energy receiving sunlight, which is information, and not having to control. It's a listening and opening. It's channeling information instead of controlling it, getting stuck, attached in the mental space. And feel those treetops just taking in that sunlight, that information, that awareness. And see how clear your mind feels. See how clear your awareness feels when the sunlight is illuminating your mental space. Clear, connected, peaceful. Okay, and now let's draw up earth energy. Spread those roots out for miles. Feel their connection to the soil, to all the other trees. Let's draw up that deep, peaceful earth energy, anchoring us into the present moment. It's like a big magnet. And now let's just sit and breathe as that tree, that pure being. Notice how much more you can see and feel when you're grounded. And now let's connect to the heart and let the heart glow. It's effortless. It's not doing anything. It's just, you're just breathing in the soft space of the heart. It's already alive. You don't have to do anything to change it or fix it. We're just activating it a little bit. and let that heart field massage your whole nervous system. Okay, and that's it for our grounding practice today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.